Welcome, everybody, to Eminence TV Live, our weekly rundown of all TCG content. And it's been mostly tournament cEDH up to this point, but you might have noticed our One Piece episode last week, so here we go. It's a brand new world of excitement and adventure. I'm Scoots, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, the beautiful Ashani, Jamaican dude from Playing with Power. They force me to say that with a gun to my head every week. And I have some exciting Playing with Power news in just a moment. We would like to thank our sponsor, the Epic Storm, without whom this would not be nearly so amazing. That's right. We love this broadcast and the Epic Storm. You can go to theepicstorm.com to pick up any of their token packs or merch. Very good site. If you're enjoying Eminence content and would like to see more, please consider subscribing here on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to one channel a month for free, and we would love if you'd consider using that on us. Another thing that you can support Eminence with is the Eminence Marketplace, which is now live at eminencemarket.com, where you can get any of our playmats or merch like hats and jackets and t-shirts and the whole thing. EminenceMarket.com. The other thing you can do there is sign up for our supporter subscriptions, and if you are a gold level supporter, you get 1 week of pre-sale to all Eminence events. Last event, 70 people signed up for pre-sale for the event, and 70 tickets were gone before the event even opened. So, being a gold member certainly has its benefits. I have some exciting news for everybody. I'm really excited about it. Number one, I can't wait. Normally we'd do the events and we'd wait, but here we go. Command Tower version 1.piece. That's right. Version 1.1, aka version 1.piece, is live now with support for single player or for 1v1 gaming now. What? So if you are running 1v1 events, you can now have the most seamless cEDH software be the most seamless 1v1 software. We're super excited about that, and I wanted to get that out at the top of the broadcast. Another thing that I need to get out towards the top of the broadcast is that Mox Masters has returned. That's right, everybody. Mox Masters is back. They took a month off to pet their cats and drink several Coors Lights, and now they are back. Actually, I think Cal is a champagne of beers fan, but a Miller High Life fan. But Mox Masters is back, and tickets for Mox Masters May are now live at moxmasters.events. And you should go there, sign up. It is the best online tournaments, in my opinion, though slightly biased, admittedly. And if you want to run your own tournaments online or in person, you can post them to EDH.events when you sign up for a Command Tower monthly subscription. They start at $5 and a month, and you can run all your events from there, now including 1v1 events. Your event will also go live on EDH.events, which is an attempt to catalog cEDH and EDH events that are tied into Command Tower. Another function of EDH.events is you can have your registry, your deck list submission, and your Eminence player profile. That's right, your Eminence player profile. Every event that you sign up to that is hosted on the Command Tower software, we'll put your data into our database, and if you are a very good cEDH player, you can walk up to your friends and flash your Eminence profile at them and show you just how good you are at cEDH, which is, I think, a wonderful feature of the software. I now have some dates and info. Oh, no, I don't. 1 second. Yes? Okay, excellent. Shop partnerships are now live. I have to talk about this. Shop partners sponsor a player or players in a main Eminence event. That's right, you buy a ticket to an Eminence event at a reduced rate, and you host your own in-shop tournament, and then the winner of that tournament receives the ticket that you have bought at a reduced rate for a main Eminence in-person event. It's an event to bridge the gap between shops and large-scale cEDH event organizers, And we just want to bring the community together via that. We are better together. We build stronger together. So please look into Command Tower and Shop partnerships. And now I talk about important Eminence dates and info, which is importantly CCU2. That's right. Cash Cards Unlimited has signed on with Eminence to host their second event, CCU2, Cash Cards Unlimited 2, June 3rd through 4th in Los Angeles, California. Entrance is, I think it's $200 this time instead of $400, but the pricing is ridiculous. I think there's a Judge Wheel of Fortune, a Beta Time Twister. There's some real gas at the top. We have the Cookout, July 29th through 30th in Atlanta, Georgia. Ashani and I will be there holding it down. I'm looking forward to meeting those of you in the South. Windmill Slam, September 29th to October 1st, is in San Jose, California. It's our return to San Jose. And California, big deal. Would love to go there sometime. Mox Masters is back. I've said that. And the last thing I must say is that EDH Top 16 is now live. If you've ever craved validation to the point of wanting your cEDH decks to be seen by so many people because they are the best cEDH decks, you just enter them in tournaments and win, and then you can be on the front page of EDH Top 16. That's right. You can go to EDH Top 16 for unbiased, data-driven analysis and representation of cEDH decks. We are not a database. We are simply a site that catalogs results, and you can go there. It's beautiful. You can scroll by conversion rate. You can scroll by wins. You can change the size of the tournament that the data that produces relevant data. Like if you want a tournament that's 64 players or larger, you can choose that. If you want a smaller one, you can choose that. You should go there, and you should see that at the top, I think, is Timnacrom Breach, which is killing everything. We just had Brian Koval win Punt City 2 on Timnacrom Breach. And now, with the EDH Top 16 news out of the way, I am obligated to introduce our guests. If you've been living under a rock for all these years, you do not know who the Bufftown Bullies are yet. But if you are a normal person who consumes content or watches Twitch streams, you see the Bullies in the chat. Hello, Bullies!
Two-handed wave for me. We'll do
Excellent. Two-handed wave. Beautiful. So for those who have been living under a rock for the last couple of years, we will go in order, starting with the quietest to the loudest. Who are you? Where can people find you on the internet?
So I'm Dio. I can be found on Twitter at 2Dios. And pretty much it. Just like cEDH and playing in our local events and traveling where we can.
Excellent.
Let Tag go next.
Beautiful transition. Thank you. Very smooth. Smooth like glass.
All right. Hi, I'm Tad. Found MTGPT716 on Twitter. I play in a ton of webcam and in-person tournaments. I normally travel to multiple tournaments. I'm one member of it. I play much all Magic formats, but cEDH is my favorite format of them all, and I play a ton, especially with Scoots a lot. So
they're the games I treasure too. We got to play in person for the first time at Fun City 2, and I still think about that game. Those games, rather.
Oh, I want to forget that game.
I cannot push it out of my memory. It was so good. It made me so happy.
After I vented to you, and then you did the same thing to me.
Yes, I did. Yeah, no, it wasn't cool of me to do, but it does hold a special place in my heart. Next.
I guess that's me. Hi, I'm Brian. You can find me as Rufus P Funk on Twitter. I enjoy cEDH. I'm the transplant of the group, moving from the south up to the north to hang out with the Bufftown Bullies, and they offered me a home, and I said, "Sure, let's go." I guess I'm the second most talkative, as you can tell already. I enjoy a lot of the formats. I'm a modern player, mostly decent. cEDH player. I guess I could say I play one on TV, passively decent, but always a good time. And with that, I'll slide on over to Mr. Goose.
Well, I have a second.
Oh, Goose.
Happy
Yeah,
belated
go ahead.
birthday, by the way. Saw that you recently hit the big 4-5.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Don't-
indeed.
Don't look a day over 39.
It's
Got 'em.
water, aloe, and lanolin.
Okay.
All about the skin treatment.
Lanolin?
He's a
Like
Zerg player,
sheep's
too.
wool?
You can say it. It's what you put in the butter, in the cocoa butter. Also a thing.
Ashani's told me about cocoa butter before.
There you go. See, you know what's up. That's the secret.
It is a secret. Agreed.
All right, and then we'll round it out. So we're here with the most of the Bufftown Bullies. Ethan couldn't make it, but we're mostly paper, so we don't really have a stream, but we're professional stream guests. So even though we don't have a thing, we're like Captain Jack Sparrow. We're the worst team, but you've heard of us. Mostly paper. We love the command tower. We use the command tower. We are infinite subscribers to command tower for our tournaments. We set them up locally, and we really try to promote the education and inclusivity of the format. We want to make sure that the casuals aren't getting smoked by pub stompers. We want to make sure those players are coming over to us maybe for a little bit more competitive action. And we've really grown. We've had 4 players, us 3 and Ethan. Brian came from Texas. He drives every week up. It's a long drive, but he makes it. And
Right. Yeah.
we've gone from about 1 to 4 tables every week, which is great, and everyone's loving it. No one's being salty. It's been a real good community building exercise for probably 3-4 months now.
Nice.
So we love it. And
Nice.
thanks for having
No
us
salty
Yeah.
players.
So
Wow.
you should hear the casual players. Oh my god, they
Don't
are
invite
awful.
Ashani then if you
Don't
don't want
invite
salt
Ashani.
at your
Yeah,
shop. Oh my
totally agree.
god.
Oh
So-
my.
Yeah.
Oof.
So last night,
Wow.
just as an example, we're playing our cEDH pod, and then at the casual pod right next to us, the dude goes, "All right, turn 1, land, Lotus, Grand Arbiter, Augustin," and it's like, what are you doing? Come over here with that. It's like no one wants that. So yeah, we love it. We're glad that we're a part of the community, and again, we appreciate you having us. We love the Eminence events.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Dio's going to Florida. Dio?
Oh,
I'm trying to. We shall see.
Representation.
Hopefully. Be good to see you there.
Georgia.
It'd be good to see you there. I look forward to going back to the South. I used to live in North Carolina for a bit, and I miss the heat more than anything else in the entire world.
So do I.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, it's cold here. It's like 46 here today. I'm in Utica, so like 3 hours to the east of y'all, but yeah. We are experiencing a cold front, but thank you so much for joining us. It's super appreciated. I'm glad we got to have you on. The thing that we are trying to do in these next like 6 weeks or so, you're gonna see a lot of new faces on the stream and a lot of people that you maybe haven't heard from before. So I'm super excited about that, and y'all were the only ones that I could think of to kick it off. And I kind of correlates. It kind of works out because y'all have a tournament this weekend.
Oh, interesting.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Oh, everything's
not
clicking.
prepared. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, we have a cEDH tournament coming up, local at the Mana Bar in North Tonawanda, and it's full proxies for a tropical island. So most of the time, Tad sets these up, so he can probably talk more about it. But we try to do some big prize, dual land. Last one was Badlands. The one before that was a Chromox masterpiece that Mr. Dio won. Tough, hated it, but I was playing Krark Malcolm and I got top 4, so that's good enough for me. But
Nice.
go ahead, Tad, rip it. What you got, Tad? Talk about them tourneys. What is
Yes.
your favorite tournament organizing software to use?
Yeah, please, free commercial for us. Thank you.
Yeah, so we run currently right now. We run them about monthly. We run local cEDH tournaments. Uh, Most of them kind of round out about like 32-ish people or so. So I mean, it's a decent turnout for like a local tournament at a monthly scale. But yeah, we try to. We don't take any profit at all from it. So like we hold an event, we have a prize, and then everything else that's left goes to food or prize support for the rest of it. So you come to our tournaments, we feed you. Um, you get to play, 4 to 5 rounds of Magic, and then get to meet a bunch of different people. Last one we had some that got Into the North guys came down, played in it. So we have a lot of people from Toronto, people out from Syracuse are coming in. So people are coming in from like hours away to come to these now.
Nice.
So we started probably. I mean, we've done tournaments on and off for the last like 2 years or so, but like it's been pretty consistent probably over the last 6 months. And then honestly, like once Command Tower I made and we got our hands on it, like it's been a whole lot easier, and it's just been go with them. But yeah, so like
Beautiful.
Not sponsored.
not, but we did get
We love
them. So. But yeah, no. So we try to run like monthly things, and we are constantly keep trying to grow them. So like we're constantly in discussions of like what we can do to change them and make them bigger and better, and kind of draw more and more people to them. So like, I mean, every single one of them, we get new players showing up that have never played in a cEDH event before, had maybe only played cEDH for a month, and like you ask them after, and they say they really enjoyed it. They can't wait for the next one. And
Nice.
you get those people signing up for the next one end over end. So
Nice. That's sick.
And the
And-
one big thing that allows is the proxy friendly environment.
Absolutely.
So it's more on skill than it is on card availability or anything like that.
It really is. And I mean, even as being the new guy here and seeing how kind of things are rounded out, it's been super great to see people from all walks of life want to take a part of this. They say, well, I'm scared about doing this. And, I don't want to be the person to put my, small toe or big toe in this deep end of the pool. But when
Yeah.
they do, it's like, cool, it's not that scary. We don't bite. Hell, there are a lot of times you don't win by turn 3 or 4. And now you're in for the long haul, and now you're stuck with us.
Yeah.
But we're willing to guide you through it, and then we can have a couple of laughs along the way. And you learn something, or maybe you don't. Maybe you get hit by a slicer 15 times and you die. I mean, it
Oh
happens.
no,
Like that.
I don't want that. Wait a second.
We slicing, baby. But yeah, that's the most important thing. When we have like F&Ms, we split it up with EDH and cEDH. But we've got new players come in. They're like, I don't know really what to do, and we won't who cares, right? We're playing for a pack of Dominaria, so we're like,
Mhm.
all right, let's go through it. Let's look at our opening hand. Should you mulligan this? And not just yes, you should mulligan it, but why this is a good idea to keep, why it's not good to keep, and go through the games that way. So we've taught probably about 10 to 12 people, and it's been
Awesome.
great. No, like I said, no one's salty. Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean,
That's
perfect case
awesome.
in point was the last one we had where Gibbons went through. Been playing CH for a while, but got a little bit, but got there on his own with what was that? The Cole deck, wasn't it?
Cole,
Yeah,
he
Cole.
top
And
with
Final
Cole,
Four.
With Cole?
Yeah,
Forge Master.
I love
Yeah.
that deck. That
Cole
deck's sick.
Clancy.
That deck is
He was
very
so
cool.
excited. Yeah, he was so excited because that's the other thing too. Like you see the excitement on this player's face. Like I've never been to a tournament.
Yeah.
I've not played a lot, and he top forward. He was like, I did it, and it was very exciting that we got him to that point. So
Yeah,
what we're all
I
about.
think that's maybe like the best part of being involved in tournaments is you just get to talk to so many people that have like so many different kind of varying life experiences and experiences with the game, and you get to meet a lot of people. And I remember very specifically the thing that resonated with me is at Punt City 2 there was a guy named Tyler who was playing Emil the Blessed and won 2 games right on day one, won their first 2, and was competitive in their other games on that day. And he was so happy about bringing this deck that he had kind of like built himself and tuned over time, and then playing it against like heavy competition, and seeing that kind of like competitive drive, but also kind of like baby's first tournament type of vibes is so cool. It's so cool. The thing that Central New York, which is where I am, struggles for is like a cEDH type scene. So I love that y'all are making it available for Western New York, which Tad corrected me. I cannot call upstate New York because not all of
No.
New York above New York City is upstate. I'm central and y'all are western, and upstate is where I used to work. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry, I messed up.
Is
But
it pop or soda? That's what it is. Pop or soda.
it's soda here.
Oh,
Are y'all pop?
Yeah.
just disconnect. I'm out of here. Yeah.
Oh no. You know what? Actually, I remember specifically being in the front seat of Tad's car and talking about soda versus pop. So, here we are.
In the South, everything is Coke. So
Everything is Coke. Yeah.
Everything is Coke. Yeah. And see that's the weird thing, because I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and so there is the soda pop crowd, there is the soda and pop crowd, and then there is the Coke crowd. But most of the soda or pop crowd is transplants. And then the soda pop crowd are the North Carolinians. And then the Coke crowd are the other Southerners who had moved to Raleigh for jobs. So DMOC or Z-Rob in the chat says LMAO soda. DMOC, I love this. Just ran my first tournament at Command Fest Seattle using the Command Tower software. It was extremely easy to use. Love running a Commander tournament during a Command Fest. That is sick. I love that. So y'all have another event coming up next month, a charity event, you were saying.
Yep. For Mental Health Month, it's going to be not cEDH, it's going to be budget. So $50 budgets. And the constraints are no Soul Ring, no Thassa's Oracle, because we don't want to have that kind of tournament. So the Soul Ring is, if one person gets that in a casual event, they're going to be miles ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
For the most part. So we ran one a couple months ago, 3 months ago. I don't remember. It was a while ago.
We did a toy drive in December.
It was a toy drive, right? So everyone, instead of a fee to get in, you donate a toy. So
that's awesome.
Up a Toys for Tots box with everyone's donations there. This time though, we had shirts and we had playmats, and we're selling them all for this event. So anything that we get from this event or from the sales are going right to prizes and donations for NAMI, the
amazing, very cool.
Yeah, for Mental Health Month, which is going to be a part of a 2-day stream as well. That is going to be running soon, where there may or may not be another 4 Krark Pod. You know, we got to do it every year. So,
having played in a 4 Krark Pod, woof. I love Krark, but
you did it. You win.
Yeah, I love Krark. I love played Krark, but in the 4 Krark Pod that I was in,
I'll pass hard on that one. That's a hard no.
We can get like 3 or 4 games in. It's pretty easy because we were all like, "Yeah, you got it, sure."
In the 4 Krark Pod that I was in, Oni G Toast, who some of you may be familiar with, played Krark Jeska and never cast Krark. Just worked with the mono red server to make the deck that would kill Krark players. It was like Pyrostatic Pillar, casting Jeska to kill all the Krarks, all the burn spells. It was brutal.
Yeah, I saw that stream. That was crazy.
Yeah,
well,
it was.
Spark main. I don't want to get into the Sparksmith talk, but I play
Well,
Sparksmith main in my Krark deck.
Don't give away the
And that
tech,
thing-
right? Like,
No one believes in the Sparksmith. I've won so many games with
The
Sparksmith.
game is to be told, not to be sold. There you go.
there you go.
There we go. There we go.
Perfect. So, y'all had done some streaming in the past, I think. Some, and then you're kind of on hiatus right now. My question to you is, you are obviously the I would say the preeminent group of stream guests. I see you everywhere. Do you have any intentions of starting up the Bullies stream again?
Ted, that looks like he's got something to say.
It's still kind of up in the air. I am the one that owns the Twitch account.
Yeah.
But we used to do like a lot of FNM streams. Our issue there is that mixing the audio for a live FNM is very hard to do.
Brutal, yeah.
Audio from everybody else in the background.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have questionable things said. And there are some questionable individuals everywhere you go.
Yeah.
don't want that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And not us. We're not
Oh,
conducting
Yeah,
that.
no one would.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
one's
no,
suggesting that.
We're in, our LGS is in I'm not gonna say a rural, but a more suburb, low income thing. So there is some questionable things said by questionable people. But if we can figure out a way to fix the audio, that is a possibility. But also we have talked about starting to do some webcam streams, whether it's consistent or kind of periodically. So,
Yeah.
I was trying to work on it before. I got busy, so it's getting kind of on the back burner for a little bit. But
Yeah.
it is something that we kind of talked about. It's starting back up relatively soon. I think right now, like for us, like our local tournaments are kind of like the forefront, and then any kind of like streaming that we would do would probably be kind of supplementary to that,
Yeah.
or like at the events themselves, like
Yeah.
figuring out how to make like the feature table like a thing that we can stream consistently. So.
Well, I think I can safely say if you have any questions about getting set up for streaming or casting or anything, I'm very happy to help you out with that should you need it. We have Modanon in the chat saying the Bufftown beefcakes. Correct, yeah, for sure. Pound for pound, handsomest cEDH people for sure, 100%. Scoop broadcasting from Hacker HQ. Beautiful.
That's right.
Look at you.
I can't get into Jurassic Park.
So
I say that sentence more than once a week. I'll tell you that right now.
So, well, while I have you here, I know that we talked a little about the tournaments that you're running, and I kind of wanted to talk about maybe if I could borrow your insight for a little bit about developing kind of a local cEDH scene and fostering that kind of scene. I know that y'all are very heavily involved in your local cEDH scene. I see you wearing the merchandise of your LGS. Do any of you work there, or is it just showing out? No, just showing out.
Representing. Yeah, we had
me and Dio occasionally judge events there. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
But it's just love. Again, we truly love our LGS. I mean, they do a lot to support the scene, and in return, we try to do the same there.
Yeah.
And
they give us a nice place to house us on Friday nights, to play games, to keep the culture going. So we're very thankful for it.
I know that people struggle with starting their own scene, but I think a large portion of it, and where you guys have kind of gotten it correct, is that you need to establish a relationship with a place that will let you play, and you need to be good to them in the same amount you would like them to be good to you. And I think people kind of miss that. So if someone is looking to start kind of a local cEDH scene, like what are some things that they can do for the shop to kind of assure them, hey, this is worth supporting, this is a thing where we think you'll actually benefit from it?
So one of the big, I think, hurdles is the proxies, right? So if you're doing FNM, it's what's sanctioned, so you really can't use proxies. So that's one of the big hurdles we had to kind of get over with our LGS, right? Like, because if you can't use proxies, it's good for the store, right? Great, but nobody who's wanting to get in the game is going to spend money on, which is probably not even available, a Gaia's Cradle, Underground Sea, and the other bad dual lanes, whatever they are. I don't care. But a lot of times too, we're just real personable, right? Like we can talk to anybody, we can hang out with anybody, and then because we're laughing, like we don't really even play. We're just kind of joshing around the whole time laughing. And people are like, what's going on over there? Oh, we're playing cEDH. Oh, I heard that format's really dumb. It's turn 1, turn 2. Actually, no, it's not. You want to know? You want to sit on a game? You want to, backpack? Let's take a look. You little Yoda and Luke. You want to check it out? And also, we kind of have like a bunch of rooms. We kind of sit in our own room, but we kind of want to make sure we're sitting out with the crowd, so that way we're easily accessible, because if you're off somewhere like in your own corner, it's not really inviting, right? So it's that kind of thing. But as long as the store is okay with proxies, that's going to be the biggest thing, and just being real inviting. If somebody, and we've had people come in and they're real jerks. They come in, they try to win. They're so tense. They want to win that pack of Kamigawa so
Yeah,
bad they're gonna
yeah.
just crush. It's like, just calm down. It's a $3 pack. I'll give you $3 if you just get the hell out of here. And right, like we've had that before. But I think just don't be a jerk. Walk people through their lines. Just like you're just playing a game, right? It's
Yeah.
Monopoly. It's chess with 4 players.
Yeah,
China
there's-
chess.
Kind of, and yet, to follow what he said, it's the same general idea. I mean, from if you come to sit with us, hey, cool, we'll walk through the line if you don't see it immediately. If we see it and you're kind of struggling, yeah, we'll say something. I mean, it's almost like you're playing good old tabletop at home. I mean,
Mhm.
you're playing with rules and better constraints, but yeah, just we'll talk you through it.
Yeah.
And also the fact being that, just again being personal, but the fact being that if you're not willing to be a jerk and just say, "Hey, I've done a thing. Can you do a thing?" versus the people, and not trying to be funny, the tryhards. I'll cast a spell to cast a spell to cast. Like, whoa, 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 whoa! Put your cart back on the horse. You don't know where you're going just yet. We can all get there together. So you'll do this, and now you'll pass priority or hold priority. Yeah, we've done it a number of times. I mean, I'll tell a quick story to make it kind of funny because Tad will know this very well. We'll say a certain event last year that we all attended, and someone didn't have an answer to the thing that was going to happen. And so Tad offered to say that, well, if you let me play this ad Nas, I might be able to get some answers. And so the person said, go ahead, let's go for it. And at that point, it was all hilarity because if you let the ad Nas player do the thing, they might get some answers, they might win the game.
Yeah.
But the fact being, we still talked through. And even knowing the potential for something bad for everybody else to happen, you don't throw salt in it. You don't
Yeah.
get rude about it. You say, hey, let's play this through. Let's use some logic.
Yeah.
Let's learn how the game works. And to pardon my French, I don't know if you can cross the stream or not.
You
I
can,
say,
it's fine.
let's F around and find out. We found out.
And just to get back to your original question there, the biggest thing you can do if you want to start out and run events or anything like that is get to know your LGS owners. Whoever's running the day-to-day, you get to know them, you get to know them on a first-name basis, and they will tell you what they need. So if they need you to invest something in it to be able to do what you need to do, then it's going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, if that's time, if that's attendance, if that's finding a judge or getting something else like the Eminence software, like that allowed us to run our own events and not have to use Companion and anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. So, as far as recruiting people to kind of play, you've made a lot of really like salient points there about just like being kind and offering to help people through. And I would say that overwhelmingly Magic players tend to be a socially awkward bunch. But y'all seem to buck that trend pretty seriously. So my question to you is, for someone looking to go walk across the room, so to say, to speak to someone and get them on the side of playing cEDH, what how do you begin to foster that relationship outside of the introduction?
I mean, I think the thing we kind of do is we kind of like we'll put people on the spot at times. Like if we're looking for a 4th person, we'll just call out a random person and be like, "Hey, come play. You don't have a deck. I have an extra deck, so you can play. We'll help you through it." And that draws them in, right? And then they'll show up like the week after with the deck, and it may not be very good, right? But we let them play, we see what it does, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk with them. Like I've spent an hour and a half of an FNM just sitting with the person, put their deck out on the table, and ask them, "Why are you playing this? Why are you playing this? Like maybe you think about playing this over this." So it's like draw them in. You kind of put them on the spot because like they'll talk about they don't really want to play it, and then they come over and they play it. They ended up finding out they have more fun, and then the next week they show up with their own cEDH deck because they enjoyed it and they want to play. So instead of like waiting for people to come over and say like, "Hey, like what are you guys doing?" Like, we'll be like, "Hey, come play this game. We need you."
Yeah.
And
No, it's not an answer.
I mean, some of that is like a sink or swim moment where you just got to jump in.
Yeah.
So
Very
and
cool.
then we just smoke them because we're so awful.
Yeah, then you wreck
Smoke
them.
'em out,
Yeah.
get them out of here. Don't come back. But no, we're real. Like even like those new players, like they're gonna get beat because they still may be new to the game of Magic itself. So those, those lines of breach and things, those are not really
Yeah.
apparent right away. So we'll help them through that, and we also have to teach them. You're gonna lose a lot, but you're gonna have to just deal with that, right? You can't be like, why didn't I win this game? I'm playing Rog Silas. I read online, it's the best deck. Why am I not winning? Well, you wheeled 3 times and passed every time you wheeled. So this is where you can maybe fix your game a little bit, and why they're playing wheels and why they're playing all these mana rocks, right? So we
Yeah.
teach them the deck has these cards in it because it wants to do this. It's not just going to wheel because, oh, look, I'm wheeling. Isn't this fun? Everyone having fun?
Yeah.
And that's one other big thing is the fact being that we explain like, hey, you don't have to have tons of money to do this. There's the most valuable or available resource you can do with these other things. Or if this is gone, what do you do as a backup plan? If you've gotten this and your win con is yeeted, how do you get it back? Or
Yeah.
how do you borrow someone else's? And understand how to break that apart. Or also, if we like, say in the case where someone borrow the deck, cool. This person's about to go off. So you should stop in at this point here. Like there's so many times like we're gonna do this, we'll do the dual caster, and we'll do this major response. Like, well, you should probably do this at this point. First, I want to do this. Like, wait, this is the point to do it. So then it becomes a learning point that they can take to another game. You go review afterward. What did you learn? And will you remember this? And the next game shows if they did or didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you just point it out like, hey, you now know a thing and how to do that.
Important to teach while you're getting everything together.
And they all want to play stacks too. All those new players. They want to play
Every
stacks
new
so
player
bad.
wants to play stacks. That is 100%
They are-
correct. That is
they are
completely
ready.
accurate.
They are
Yeah.
ready. And they're like, all right, I'll play. Was it rule law? And then they do nothing the whole game. I was like, well, your rule law actually helped me win the game. I've told that to many stacks players, the new players. Like you helped me win the game because you played this, because you gave Clark enough time to pick up 4 or 5 land drops. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Give me
The
that
new-
rule law, please.
The new player
Yes.
Winota pipeline is very strong, I've noticed.
That's fair.
But,
yeah.
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 So a lot of it sounds like, I mean, I obviously, but for the purposes of the stream chat, a lot of it is just working on being personable and working on how you interact with people. And you seem to introduce a lot of people to the format. You seem like you're good at it. So you say you bring an extra deck. What deck are you handing to that new player?
A good one.
A good
Oh,
one.
good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
so like
That's
an easy
off.
to
He's off.
so like I mean I would say like an easy to pilot deck, like one that kind of like is I could
Brinko.
adjust and like nothing like complicated. Like I'm not gonna hand a new player a novel and say here figure it out.
Well, why would
No,
you
it's
hand them
like-
a dead deck though? That
Oh,
was-
come on,
Check it
Sean. Oh no.
Chad
be
won,
real.
Chad won with Anala. I was very mad about it. He won.
I've won a masterpiece mana vault with Onala, so
Yeah,
Okay,
Sean,
my
we were
apologies. I'm
Sean,
sorry.
we
I'm sorry.
almost had a week in the bank where you weren't toxic, and here we are
And here we are.
blowing it.
So we can say that perfect example of the new player is Frank. Everyone knows Frank. Everyone loves Frank. Y'all don't know Frank, but he's a great guy. He's always wanting to play, but he also feels constrained by not having the real cards. So we said, don't worry about that. He loves Najila. He came in, he won his first cEDH tournament with Najila because
Nice.
he was putting in the work. I'm using Deco's list. This is what Deco's using. Is this cool? I'm like, absolutely. You just learn how the lines. He said, I
Yeah.
spent hours reading. I just want to play with you guys. And then he won his first cEDH tournament. He definitely did. So,
Nice.
and he's casual AF. He loves his goofy stuff, but he came in and he smoked us all.
And it was
Awesome.
awesome to see. It
Yeah.
was awesome to see.
I think a lot of that is like you can tell a new player that they should play this deck, but until they kind of dig in and figure out how the deck works. Like I know when I started playing cEDH, I switched decks like every 2 weeks. I think it was really bad for my player development, honestly. Like I think that I became a better player when I just played the Gitrog monster for a year. Like that taught me how to play cEDH. That taught me interaction points and that kind of thing. I think that there's a lot of value. I mean, it depends on the kind of person you are, but I think that there's a lot of value in like having a known quantity with which to learn the lines and threat assessment and that kind of thing. Like, I'm trying to learn. I just fired back up Arena again. I'm trying to learn Historic, so I'm like sequencing properly and paying attention to like go to combat because I'm playing Hammer, and so like go to combat, cast the instant to equip the hammer after they've not declared a blocker. And I was playing with a friend the other day, and they were like, "You don't have to do it in that order. I can't cast any removal for this much mana." And I was like, "I don't know the removal in this format. I'm just trying to not die." Like, and I think that is a huge barrier to cEDH for a lot of people. It can just seem very overwhelming. Like,
Yeah.
they don't know what to play around. And I think having a known quantity while you're learning those things is like really beneficial for you becoming a new cEDH player. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, when I first got started almost, 5 years ago,
Mhm.
I got myself an itty bitty precon. I can't remember if it was either the Edgar deck or the cat deck, Arabo.
It was cats
And
for me.
yeah, man, I loved it so much. Like, this cat punches up like that. And then, of course, you try to play with the cEDH folks, and it's like, well, it was a nice effort, but you didn't get there. But shout out to my friend Tim back in Texas.
Mhm.
He took me underneath his wing. He helped me learn how to play the game. Look out for this. Look out for that. These are things to do. And I'll just say, I got my ass whooped for the better part of a year.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right.
right, but you put in that work. You take those L's. You learn what's going on. You adapt. You become better and realize what's going on is the parts of the game.
Yeah.
You also learn the different phases and the different parts again, like I said earlier, for interaction. And so after that first year, I finally came back, and I think that's I can't remember, was it a year or two after that? That's when the Angie deck came out, and it was World Gorger time. I said, "Let's go!" And just like, cool, dump go. And like, did you win by turn 3? I did because I learned what to do and how to protect it. And
Yeah.
once I understood the mechanics and had someone coach me and played the deck for damn near 3 months and learned what my ins and outs were, it became better. My understanding of the game helped me become better, but I also put in the work to understand how to become better.
That
And Dio and I are 60 card. We were born in 60 card. We are
yeah.
the grinders. We're part of that grinder life. Yeah. So back in when they called it Type 2, they call it
Yeah.
extended 1.5.1. Yeah, we were in all of that. We would go every week to Rochester to play.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
I
start
the
playing
punt.
Magic till 2016, so
Oh
you're
geez, I had the punt top 2 going to. I was gonna win and go to Hawaii, and I punted the game, and everyone watched me, and I still have never lived it down because Muddle the Mixture is also a counterspell and not just a tutor. And I'm
Yep.
so fixated on tutoring. And this was in, oh my goodness, I was playing Scepter, Jeskai Scepter Chant. Put a
Oh,
put Orm's Chant on a Scepter, put a counterspell on a Scepter, and just
Mhm.
and I blew it. But yeah, we're
Mhm.
60 cards, so we know we had damage on the stack.
Mhm.
We could play 4
Oh,
copies of
we've been playing before EDH was a thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's well past my experience, but yeah, tip of the cap to you. Like I wish that I had gotten in when I was younger because number one, I'd have a lot more shiny cardboard rectangles than I do now, but also like number two, I've had so much fun in my adult life playing this game, and I don't know why. When friends tried to get me to play it in like middle school, high school, I don't know why I didn't do it because I've had so much fun as an adult playing the game. And I think that the thing that I've noticed is I've played with a lot of 60 card players in more recent history, guys who have kind of converted and come over to play the game. And I noticed that it's almost like starting Magic all over again when you pick up your first cEDH deck coming from like 60 cards. It's like the excitement comes back. That first like 17 time twisters and 23 black lotuses or whatever excitement comes back to like start playing cEDH again. And I think we've kind of gone over that. That's a large part is getting players excited when you're building your scene. And it sounds like y'all have done it really well, and it's really impressive. The scene that you've built, and I keep seeing I saw you've got mats, you've got merch, you've got swag. I still have some stickers left over from a couple years ago, like y'all have come a really long way, and so happy that you could come on and like chat a little bit about scene building and the bullies and your tournament. I want to remind everyone that it's this weekend. What's the entry fee again?
$30.
3-0. Yep.
$30, and that's at the Mana Bar in North Tonawanda, New York. This Saturday, starting at 10:30,
12:30.
12:30. Okay, that's a much
We're
more
in for a long
reasonable time to leave my house. Okay, all right.
Be
Woo!
there at noon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was man, it's like three and a half hours. I was like, I gotta leave the house at 7 a.m. I don't know. Okay, all right, but yeah.
You'll get there in time for our pre-tournament breakfast.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
Red Bulls and vodka.
4 Locos.
For locals,
Four Locos.
everybody.
American edition, 4 Locos. I tried that.
Watermelon 4 Locos. There we go.
That
Not
is.
a good breakfast choice.
Woo!
Not a great beverage. Speaking of not a great beverage, I don't know if y'all have seen that Warheads now has sour hard seltzer. Warhead flavored hard seltzer is now a thing. My local beer store is really pushing that right now. And
The sour, not the hot one.
yeah, no, none of the hot seltzers,
Hope
no.
not the hot one.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately,
This is good.
the sour taste of Gatorade is a reference that I will make, but that no one will get. Anyhow, it's been really great to have you. I have kind of a nebulous final 2 questions for you. Number 1, what is something that y'all are very excited about that is not Magic the Gathering? And I'll start with Dio, and we'll go in the order that we went with the intros.
Ooh. Excited about that's not Magic.
I have my answer.
Because we got to be well-rounded people. We can't just be Magic
Can't just
nerds,
be-
right?
There we go.
Well, I think I will pass and come back to me.
Okay, sounds good. Tad knows what he wants to say. What you got for me?
All right. It's still a couple months away, but I am super excited for Lorcana to come out. I am a huge Disney
You're the
fan.
Dis
If
nerd.
you never see me post on Twitter.
Yeah, I forget you're a Disney adult sometimes.
I got fucking Mickey Mouse tattooed on me, the
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion tattoo.
Nice.
I'm going hard and gonna buy lots and lots of cards.
Nice. Dio, Duffbag13 in the chat
Dio.
says the thing you're excited about is cleaning for your wife.
That's fair. I am the family man of the bunch. Got two grown daughters and full-time everything.
No comment.
Duffbag, notably one of the Bufftown Bullies. Not
Ah,
with
that
us
makes
today.
sense. That
Still
makes
here,
sense.
Ethan.
Yeah.
Making the jab. Still gotta jab him.
We miss you, buddy.
We'll have you
Brian,
back.
go.
You can bring Ethan next time.
Oh, sure. I'm excited about getting a chance that once real spring is here, not this fall spring I'm getting used to, the
Mhm.
porch will be open and I can play records for the neighborhood like I've been doing in the past. Like Saturdays, it's known I'll go outside and the entire neighborhood appreciates it. I'm part of a block club. Never thought I'd have
Nice.
that.
Oh yeah.
But to get a chance to play stuff, by day it's chill, like light yacht rock. And then like after 7 p.m. when the kids are off the street, it's straight to NWA and Easy E and let's get all deep into it.
During the
know,
day,
no-
nothing but
Milwaukee House
Weezer.
here.
During the night, nothing
Half
but
pipe, let's go.
yeah.
Ice Cube, baby.
I'm walking over this year, Brian.
Come on down, man. We got space for you.
It's all the way in Texas, though. It's gonna be a long walk.
That's gonna be a long walk. Yeah.
Me and Brian
Gotta
live
bring
like 10
your
blocks away
soda
from
pop.
each other.
All right, Scoop. What you got for me?
Evil Dead comes out this week. I am excited as hell for Evil Dead. Evil Dead in the house. Evil
What am I-
Dead Initiative. It looks crazy. I'm gonna go see that
Yeah.
shit. I love Evil Dead. The last Evil Dead, the new one, just
Yeah.
as good as the old one. That's not a debate. I love them both, but the new one's coming out this week, and I'm excited for that. So I'll be seeing it instead of going to Magic. Ethan, sorry.
Last one that came out was Ash versus the Evil Dead, right? Or
Well, that was the show, right?
That's
But
the
there was
show, okay.
like a remake that they made, which was
Oh,
so
okay.
good,
nice.
so good.
I'll have to give it a
Highly
peep.
It's very good.
One of my friends on Facebook has rented out the local theater for the Evil Dead premiere. Like
Dang.
all 50 seats because you get a discounted rate.
Wow.
So
That's greedy. I would love to share that with other people. I
Yeah.
would love to share that.
yeah.
Yes.
I've
I'm going 3 p.m. I'm gonna be the only motherfucker there with the popcorn and a drink, just getting out at the for the early cheap seats. Can't wait.
Beautiful. The last question is a question that I ask everybody, and you've given such great answers. I think you'll crush this one too. We'll start again with Dio, who never told you what he was excited about, by the way. Don't think I've forgotten. So we can two birds with one stone here. What is the sexiest soup?
Soup.
Mhm.
Minestrone.
Okay. Excellent. Good answer. Tad, what you got?
Yo, that's a tough one for me. But
Yeah, that's fair.
the co-op down the street from me has this sick ass vegan beans and greens soup, and it's super super good.
Nice.
Super good. I get it. You're a funny guy.
Whoa.
Out of here.
All right. Brian, what you got for me?
Only because we had it at my wedding. We had Italian wedding soup.
Oh. Okay. You
Very,
did you have an Italian wedding?
Did not. So
Okay,
that was the joy in it. But we had the Italian wedding soup.
Love that. Soup, what you got for me?
Tomato soup with the grilled cheese.
Oh, the grilled
Easy
cheese?
peasy.
Yeah, okay, that's a really good answer. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's lobster bisque. I'm like, have you had lobster bisque? Number one, it's not great, right? It's not that good. And like, number two, who eats lobster bisque at any time? Lobster's so expensive. Ain't nobody got time for that. Anyhow, from everyone here at Eminence TCG, that's right, that's the new name, Eminence TCG. I have been Scoots. I've been joined by the illustrious Bufftown Bullies. You can check out their tournament happening this weekend at EDH.events. My co-host, as always, is the extremely handsome, capable of short periods of flight Jamaican dude. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We're gone.
Thanks for having us.